Go fuck yourself was a message to me from a 20-year-old young lady who happened to be my buddy's daughter. That's right, this 20-year-old kid thought it was okay to say that to a man who is more than twice her age and is an acquaintance of her father. And you know who I blame for this? Not her, him. Now, I live in Thailand, where this, for the time being, would never happen. But my buddy, and obviously his daughter, lives in the United States. But let me back up and tell you a story. So we got reconnected, me and my buddy. We used to work together at the company a long time ago. And, you know, he was asking me what I was up to. And I told him about this new channel that I have and a new passion. And so he was asking me about this. And then all of a sudden he said, you know, I'm actually driving my 20-year-old daughter, you know, and she's listening to our conversation, which was a little weird. But then he said, well, do you have any advice for her? Is there anything you want to say to a 20-year-old girl in America? And I said, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I told her essentially what I would wish on my younger sister, or just a good young woman. And I said, listen, you know, don't try to go after a career and make money. Try to find a husband in your 20s. Don't get tattoos, don't get any bad habits, don't get a nose ring or red hair, all kinds of shit that will, you know, drive good men away. Try to become a wife. And that what triggered her to tell me through my friend to go fuck myself. Now, there are two problems with that. One, of course, is the fact that even younger women in America have already been poisoned by feminism and spoiled by simps into essentially this undateable mess that's already combative, aggressive, and doesn't really even want to take an advice as a possibility of going after a good man as a husband and creating a family, rather than being, you know, combative little cunt. And number two, which is a much bigger problem, that much like most modern undateable women are raised by single mothers, this one is raised by a father who is a simp. And the result is pretty much the same. Now, if my buddy wasn't a simp, one, he would never even think about giving me this message from his daughter, because he would be embarrassed that he raised a little cunt. And two, you know, obviously she would be kicked out of the car and made to walk home by herself. Because, I mean, she's already 20, right? And for some reason, he's still being her little bitch chauffeur. And by the way, she was riding in the back seat while he was driving in the front seat. He, for some reason, sent me a picture, so he's literally being an Uber driver. So fathers who are simps don't raise their daughters. They just simp for them. And that is probably one of the biggest viruses that has spread in this world in the last 20 years. Forget COVID-19 and monkeypox or whatever else is going on. This is an epidemic of an emergency proportions. And here we go again. The new generation of women is being raised exactly the same, if not worse, as the generation of women who are now in their 30s and 40s and realizing the mistakes that they've made about choosing career over their family and so forth and so forth. But some, like for example his wife, I'm assuming feel very lucky that she's got a simp for pretty much the rest of her life. Most likely. Now, as I mentioned earlier, luckily I've escaped this disaster. I left America a couple of years ago. I now live in Southeast Asia, where, like I said, the pandemic has not really reached here it's reached here, but it hasn't really spread in such numbers, because most women here don't speak English, and this virus, as I call it, the real virus, spreads by essentially understanding and speaking English. This is why I don't date even Thai women who speak English at all. I only date women who don't, because my Thai is finally getting a little bit better. And if you want to join me and many other men who have figured out how to avoid yet another generation of these modern women, go to the millionmanproject.com, where I have outlined every single step that you need to take in order to ditch these modern women and their mothers and come here or in South America or Africa, where I'm actually going in a couple of months, and I will report from Africa and about the modern dating situations there in a couple of months, and just come here and be happy.